Hello, collective. Welcome to your pick a card reading. First, we have the crystal ball. Next, we have the Buddha. And last, we have the Amethyst Heart. If you pick the crystal ball, you're dealing with a relationship that could result in great financial stability. You're also dealing with somebody who tends to be a little bit wild with their money spending. This person tends to mask their emotions, and you've had a feeling about something they did in the past. You had a suspicion that kept nagging at you because you felt in your heart and your soul that it was true, but you couldn't prove it. And you're correct, because they were hiding something, they were masking something from you. And in many ways, it was really just the way they were truly feeling. They're not comfortable sharing their emotions, but there's also a secret that they kept from you. There's also some information that they didn't share. For some of you, this could have to do with their religious beliefs or concerns about the differences in viewpoint between your beliefs and their beliefs. And this is somebody who avoids conflict. They don't like to have arguments. So honestly, they just didn't know how to bring up the disagreement without creating bigger chaos in the connection. Now, there's also a secret that they've been keeping beyond what their emotional secrets are, beyond them masking their true feelings or hiding certain thoughts and opinions about their religious beliefs or concerns about your own beliefs or disagreements that just didn't click with them. There's an actual secret here. And since this was coming out for you, I dug a little deeper to see what that secret was. And if you were wondering if there was someone else, a third party involved in this connection, then this is your confirmation. There was somebody else that they never told you about. I know that can be very painful to hear, but it also can be healing to get closure if this is somebody that gave you excuses and came up with reasons that didn't make any sense for breaking things off with you. So if you ever suspected and you thought, oh, there was somebody else, I feel it in my gut, I feel it in my heart, their behavior was just too different, you were correct. That is another secret that they kept from you. And now there's a reason why they sought somebody else, and we'll get into that. Because this person is still pining over you. This person, despite having betrayed your trust, having hidden secrets not only from you about their emotions and their true thoughts and feelings, but they also hid a whole person from you that they were migrating, moving towards while still with you, that they were using to crutch their own failing ability to be there for you in the connection, to show up for you at their best in that connection that you guys were building. Yet they still want you, even today, even right this moment, as I'm doing this reading, they yearn for you and they want you. They want you in their life, and they wanted you in their life that entire time. So then why go towards another person? Let's explore. Things for you and this person had gotten a bit rocky. They had gotten difficult after a certain point. In the beginning, things were great, and actually it was almost like a fairy tale love story. Everything was wonderful, and then one day it just started getting really rocky. There were disagreements that couldn't be resolved, and these started piling up. These started compounding, and you felt confused. You couldn't understand where all this was coming from or why it seemed so blown out of proportion. And I will say that this person was exaggerating on purpose. This person was blowing things out of proportion. That's why it seemed so weird to you, because they were exaggerating. They were kind of looking for excuses to make things seem worse off than they really were, to make problems seem bigger than they really were affecting them. And essentially, they were trying to create space between the two of you at one point. They started getting very confused. This person has abandonment issues. So what happened with them is that as soon as things started getting way too good to be true, as soon as things started getting very real, and they felt their heartstrings getting tugged and they felt getting attached to you in a very deep way, they got panicked. They got really scared. And so because all of this was happening subconsciously, because this person has some type of abandonment issue from their childhood, this could be somebody who had a missing parent, had a parent pass away early in their life, or just leave for whatever reason, or who had at least one parent who was very neglectful emotionally, a parent who would maybe give them support and caring for a little while, but then would take it right away, or would
sporadically or inappropriately show them love and affection, while most of the time showing them hostility at best, right? So this person that you connected with in love, they were yearning for you specifically and for your love in the beginning of this connection, and they found you and they were free at that point to love and care about you because their emotions weren't so deeply tied and invested. But as soon as they felt they had gotten to that edge of caring where they felt, hey, beyond this point I might get hurt, that's where when things got real for them, they started creating excuses, they started creating problems in the connection, blowing little things that could have been resolved into bigger things, and then using those to excuse their own behavior to seek attention outside of the connection. And all of this because subconsciously they have abandonment issues and they wanted to leave you before you could leave them, because the pain of being left again, being abandoned again, was too much for them to bear. So this person has sabotaged the connection between you and them. However, you made this person feel so much peace. You made this person feel like there was nothing wrong in the world, like they were safe. You were their shelter. They felt so at peace, so secure. They felt so cared for, so loved, so consistently that they even doubted if it was true because they've never experienced that before. And so now that there's space between you and this person, now that there's distance, now that you're not speaking, is when they're taking their time to compare how they feel now and reassess how they felt when they were with you. And they're realizing, wow, I really messed that one up. I don't know why I sabotaged things. They never really did anything wrong to me. They never showed me signs of wanting to leave. In fact, I was the one that pushed them away. And now I feel back to feeling lost, back to feeling alone, even with this other person that I'm exploring things with. This other person doesn't make me feel the way that they did. They believe that you took away some of their pain, some of their anguish, and that you were sincere. And they felt that deep inside their heart. And so they're reanalyzing that. They're reassessing it now. It's really sinking in for this person, even if you're not in contact with them. So now they're considering, well, why haven't they reached out? Why haven't they called me? If they really cared about me, maybe they would have reached out by now. Maybe they don't want to hear from me. So this person is wondering if you would forgive them, and take them back. They're wondering if you still care about them. And even though it sounds ridiculous because they're the one that pushed you away, they feel abandoned by you because you haven't reached out, and they're used to people reaching back out and trying to understand why they left or trying to fix things, and they haven't gotten that from you. You've completely just detached and walked away. Even if you still care about them deep in your heart, you just refuse, because of the way that they behaved, you refuse to lower your standards. You refuse to bend over backwards for somebody who didn't invest in the same way that you did, who wasn't consistent in the same way that you were, somebody who truly didn't treat you as you deserved in the connection. And so you have boundaries, healthy boundaries, and you refuse to break those boundaries, even though your heartstrings are still possibly very much attached to this person, even though you hold a dear place in your heart for them and for the time you share together. So now this person is triggered. This person was triggered by the love that you guys felt for one another at the time when you were together, and they're being re-triggered now as they're trying to analyze and reassess what actually happened, as the distance has allowed them to reassess the role that they played and how they were really truly sabotaging things instead of the other way around. They're realizing, and they know deep down, and they've assessed in their head that what they did was blow things out of proportion on purpose, and that they were the ones who cheated, and that they were the ones who sought somebody outside of the connection. Even if it wasn't full-on cheating while you were together, they were emotionally investing in someone else before things ended with you. They were already talking to someone else before things ended with you. And this, for many of you, is a twin flame connection. It's this long-lasting dance of push and pull between the two of you. And it's a connection that may have spanned many lifetimes, or that during this lifetime may have been on and off a few times already, or may be on and off a few times going forward. But basically, it's a healing process between two individuals who want to come together and have traumas that need to be healed on their own. So when you guys split apart or take space, it's a time for healing, that healing has to happen independently. It cannot happen within the connection. So there are certain wounds that must be healed independently before you can come together. And I think this person is going through one of those moments and is healing one of those wounds that came up, that got triggered when you guys last were together. They're realizing with this distance that there's a big hole in their heart and that they can't fill it without you. They felt whole when they were with you because you provided that nurturing, that caring, that true love that they've always so deeply yearned for in another partner. And they're really realizing that there's not a lot of people out there that are as sincere, as willing to be vulnerable, as open and loving as you were with them. And so at this time, they're realizing that you were the real deal, that you are the real deal. And they're kind of kicking themselves for having sabotaged things. And so now they're having to learn a lesson. They're having to search their heart to understand, why they did what they did and how they can try and fix it. Ultimately, this person sees you as the one. They see you as their forever person. They see you as somebody that they would marry in a heartbeat. Now that you've separated, now that you've walked away, now that you've broken contact, now they're realizing every single moment they spent with you was a wonderful moment, and they would like to spend many more wonderful moments together with you. So things are very difficult for this person at this moment. Right now, they're realizing that if they do want you back, there's a very long road ahead, and that they're going to have to do a lot of soul searching and work to really deserve you, to really be able to show up for you in the way that you deserve for them to treat you and respect you and honor your love. So they're taking space still. I don't see them having reached out just yet, but they are definitely doing some deep soul searching within themselves about how things turned out and why and the role they played. And they're also thinking about a strategy for how to come back, how to possibly come back without having to risk losing you forever because of the things they've done. Now, this person has been distracting themselves for a long time with work, with menial everyday tasks, just to stop thinking about you. And this one came out in reverse. So technically, they've run out of things to distract themselves. And now they have no other choice but to face their feelings. They have no other choice but to face their thoughts. So the distractions are over. And that's why this is coming up and coming through for you right now. They're focused at this time, right now, in the here and now, on mending things. How can I fix things between us? What can I do? What is the right next step? How can I make sure I don't risk losing the one, my partner, the person that I want to be with for the rest of my physical existence here? This is the one. I've realized this is the one. How can I make this work? How can I fix what I've broken? This is their focus right now, and they've told themselves that if you did give them another chance, they would never, ever cheat again. They would never entertain other people again, and they're feeling quite pressured to take you off the market, to renew the bond that you had with one another. They're feeling quite challenged and quite time restricted to figure out a plan to reach out to you, how to reach out to you, what to say, how to win you back over. I do expect that this person will, in the very near future, be reaching out to you. It may make it seem lighthearted or inconsequential or about something else, but trust that within the next 3 months, you will be hearing from this person, because they are strategizing. They're a very strategic thinker, and right now they're strategizing how to approach you once again and how to try and mend things in the very short term, meaning in the next 3 months. They don't want to let you slip away or be swooped up by someone else. Yes, we have rebirth here. This is somebody who wants to renew and restore the connection with you. We have trick. This is not a trick. This is real. They've finally been able to speak to themselves honestly, because they hide a lot of things even from themselves. They tend to trick themselves into certain behaviors and certain thought processes that are just bogus to protect their own heart. So they have this weird defense mechanism where they try to convince themselves that they don't really care about someone, that they're just a player, that they can just move on, that they have no real hard feelings. But they've realized with you that with this distance, that the feelings are still there and that they were very true and that they can't hide from them and that they can't even lie to themselves any longer. And so their next goal with you and with this connection is to restore and regenerate and try to start over fresh. They want a new fresh start with you. what's coming next, if you do choose to give this person a chance, is that things will move very quickly towards a reunion. Things will move very quickly towards a reconciliation. They're just looking, they're going to reach out for just an ounce, an inch, a centimeter of a hint that you might be open to restoring this connection. And if you give them that sign, if you bring love into the situation, if you respond open-heartedly and kindly, then they will do whatever they can to restore this connection, and it will happen very quickly because they've realized, they've done all that thinking, all that pondering for the time that you were apart, and they've realized that you are the one and that they don't want to lose you. So all they need is just a small sign of yes, you want to reconnect. Yes, you still have feelings for them. Yes, your feelings were real and are still there. And this person will not stop short of ensuring that they have you back in their life, that they restore whatever they've broken. All right, thank you so much for your time and attention. If this resonated with you, please drop me a like because that truly, truly helps on my channel. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care.
For those of you who picked the Buddha, you're dealing with someone who feels that they are going to be stifled by this connection. Somebody who sees the connection with you as potentially threatening their free time, their current schedule, their current freedom. So they feel like entering into a new connection with you is something that they see as desirable but also risky. So they're pondering if this would be a good connection to get into. So they're in that phase of trying to see how a connection with you would look from a day-to-day basis. This is someone who you've connected with before and who may have some kind of codependency issue. So this could result in them being very needy. So when you don't communicate at a certain frequency with this person, they may pull away completely and feel like you've rejected them. So there could be some situation here between you and this person where in the past they've been very hot and cold. So they've come in really strong, heavy communication, trying to get together, all this. And then there were moments where you may have felt this person kind of fade away into the background completely, and you wondered what the heck happened, or like, why did they go distant? Why did they go silent? And the answer is that this person has very severe codependency issues. So when they do try to entertain a new connection, they're often faced with fears of rejection or fears of not being liked or fears of not being accepted or wanted. And so these codependency issues tend to manifest in a protective behavior where they pull back if they're not feeling like you care, which to them kind of shows up when you don't text or call or constantly show them validation. This person has to do some shadow work. And like I said, they have some kind of emotional attachment issue going on where they tend to feel unworthy of love, or they tend to need constant validation to feel loved. So some of you may also be dealing with a person who's recently gone through a divorce or who has been through a divorce in general and hasn't necessarily done the work on themselves to avoid issues when connecting with a new partner. So this may be someone who comes off to those who don't know them intimately as very put together, as like having a lot of money or having a lot of stability. But in reality, if you look behind the scenes and peel back the onion, they have a lot of chaos and they have a lot of problems, a lot of drama in their life in the background because they haven't taken care of certain issues. They tend to avoid issues. They tend to kind of distract themselves with other things or keep themselves busy at all times, which means that when there are true difficult challenges to overcome in life, they tend to shy away from those and just use their busy schedule as an excuse to kind of not deal with them immediately. So over time, that kind of thing festers. So they also have some karmic debts to pay which means that you're not the only person that has kind of suffered the consequences of trying to connect with this person while they have unresolved issues. They have many other people in their lives who they have either like mistreated or ghosted or not been able to support emotionally in the same fashion that they were supported by that relationship. So this seems to me like somebody who's just not in a good place just yet to have a responsible romantic connection that is balanced. This person, like I said, they've already connected with you in the past. So there's something here about you guys speaking on the phone or getting together and them really enjoying the sound of your voice. They really enjoy your voice in general. Like it just calms them and makes them feel like you may have a very nurturing or soothing voice, so that makes them feel quite cared for when you're speaking on the phone. So they prefer to speak to you on the phone over texting or messaging or email. They also prefer to see you in person over speaking on the phone. So this person tends to be drawn to your energy with Tangled. If this has been like an on and off connection, they're going to be back if they're not already, because they keep being drawn to your energy. They're almost like addicted to your energy in a way. So no matter how many times you guys have tried coming together and then like the communication has fallen off or they've gotten cold feet, they still continue over the years to come back into your life because they have this like addiction to how you make them feel energetically. So it's not that they don't want to be with you. It's just that when they try to reciprocate, it's too much for them and it's too complicated for them, and they try to avoid complication and they try to avoid taking accountability for their own emotions. So instead, when things get a little tough, they just kind of pull away and say, you know, I don't have time for this right now. I need to focus on my work. I need to just focus on these other 3 priorities I have. And so they haven't really been there consistently over the years, but they have continued to come in and out of your life, and they will continue to do so as long as you allow it. But as you see here, this is someone who's not fully emotionally available or doesn't have the emotional capacity or maturity to reciprocate the type of relationship that you want to have. And because of that, they kind of would lean on you emotionally to support them, and they wouldn't be able to provide the same support to you because they have codependency issues. This is another deck. They have codependency issues that require constant validation, extreme amounts of validation beyond what a stable person would demand out of their partner. And yet they are unwilling or incapable, like they just literally don't have the bandwidth or the emotional maturity to be able to reciprocate that level of attention, of emotional support. So this is someone who you would struggle with if you decide to pursue this connection. You would probably struggle with this person when it comes to communication. So this is also someone who may be very quick to propose if you did give them a shot, a serious shot. Like say that you gave into their needs and you showed them, because the key to this person is literally just morning text, night text, and talking to them often, or like making them feel special. As long as you do that, they don't care about any other flaw. They don't care if you make money, if you don't. They don't care about anything else. They just care about being validated. And so yeah, you could have a relationship with this person. They would propose. They would want a long-term connection, but they're always going to be a little bit distant when it comes to emotion because they just don't have that mental or emotional development. And it's not something that I see them trying to work on either. I see them wanting to fix things through sex, wanting to fix things through physical intimacy, or like, let's go on vacation, let's take a trip, let me make a joke. But they don't actually address the underlying issues or do the work to develop their emotional availability. Okay, this is somebody who, like I said, you guys may have had on and off, may have had issues with believing that you cared about them, or like may have demanded too much of you or from you. And it does say here, I've been working on myself. So it's not like they haven't made any progress at all, but I really don't feel
that this is enough progress for you to think that you're going to come in and revisit this connection and they're like completely changed. That's not the case. They're definitely making some efforts to try to understand you and to try to give you the things you've requested from them. But have they done the inner work really? Not, no, I don't think so. So here it says, I really do care even though I don't show it. So like I said, they've been in and out of your life at this point, probably for like at least a decade for some of you. And so they get scared, they get flighty, and they run away every time that something feels a little shaky. But they've come to really care about you because it's been so long that this has been like an on and off connection. And so they probably know you pretty well, and you probably know them pretty well. So they've almost developed a level of caring for you that's bordering on familial. like even if you were to never give this person a shot romantically, they'd probably still want to be a part of your life. And it says here, I've been watching your socials and admiring your pictures. So they're definitely keeping an eye on you. They're keeping tabs on you. They probably come in and try to make a move whenever you are posting about like dating someone new, or like say that you post a picture about you somewhere like a restaurant or somewhere where they don't recognize, and you don't post who's with you. Like they might then reach out that day, for example, because they're like feeling a little insecure about you potentially exploring other opportunities in love. So it's almost like they want to have their cake and eat it too. They don't want to step up, but they also want to keep you single or with them. So something like this. They get deep knowing and imagine. So, I mean, from an intellectual perspective, this is somebody who has a lot of wisdom. And this is somebody who's also quite creative. Like they have really big ideas. They have really impressive ideas. This could be some kind of entrepreneur. This could be a business owner. This could be a scientist, or just somebody in a leadership position of some kind. So they seem like somebody quite intelligent, quite important, quite informative, like very much life experience here, a wealth of experience and knowledge. But then yet when it comes to emotional development, when it comes to attaching properly, they're very underdeveloped. So intellectually, I would say this person is very sharp. They're imaginative, they're creative, and that is their strength. If you haven't heard from this person, they're definitely planning to communicate with you. They want to, in the very near future, possibly for some of you, they already have this week reached out. They want to invite you out, or they want to kind of revisit where you are and find out if you're single, or find out if you're available to kind of rekindle things with them. And like I said before, this is just confirmation. This is somebody who you've probably already gone round and round with multiple times. Like you've probably tried to date this person multiple times. You've probably tried and failed multiple times because something always feels shaky or goes wrong. And since we discussed that, I'm not going to go into it again, but this is somebody who is very spontaneous. They like to go with the flow. They like to do things on impulse. And they're also very cheerful, usually a very positive person. This is usually somebody who lights up a room with, like, when they walk in, they're like the life of the party kind of energy, or like there's somebody very interesting to speak to. They also may be kind of extroverted and have lots of friends, lots of connections and acquaintances. And usually they're very optimistic. Like I see them being like a very positive person, a very like forward thinking, problem solving or solution finding kind of person. So it is fun to be around them. It is nice to have them around when you do date this person. It's just that it never quite gets to the next level of intimacy because of those struggles with emotional maturity that they have. And so what's coming next, what to expect from this person, it is, for some of you, going to be just a non-starter. So some of you are just trying to, get sure that you should just end things with this person. It's almost like you're almost convincing yourself to just cut the cord completely for some of you. It seems to me like some of you are just like, I've been entertaining this. I've never quite cut this person off. maybe it's time I tell them that I just want to be friends, so that we should stop, casually dating here and there and trying things over and over. If it's like failed 10 times by now, we probably should stop. Like, it's probably not going to work. So I think some of you will be making some kind of determination with regards to this connection and whether or not you want to cut that cord completely in the coming weeks. And for your advice, I did pull separation, retreat, and romantic feelings. So yeah, there's definitely romantic feelings here, maybe even on both sides. So they definitely have romantic feelings for you. And, at this point, you've become almost like family. So even if things resulted in like a romantic separation, or like you deciding I'm not going to explore romance with you anymore, I do feel like this person would want you to continue to be a friend, or like in some form part of their life, because they're used to you and they want you around and they like you. And like, I think that might be mutual. It's just that when it comes to romance, there's something that hasn't clicked between the two of you. This may be even somebody who will invite you on vacation or wants to plan a trip with you in the near future. So that's all that I have for you. Thank you for your time and energy, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Hi there. For those of you who picked the Amethyst Heart, you are dealing with somebody who is an extremely positive, happy person. They also have gone through a lot of challenges in their life. And I do see them as being somebody who's overcome a lot of adversity, somebody who's got a lot of scars, and who has overcome just some major, major roadblock in their life that would have crumbled someone else, or anyone else really. But this person was able to surmount that obstacle and has come out of it still with a lot of optimism, still with a lot of vision for the future, with a lot of hope in their heart. Okay, so this is a resilient person who's overcome major obstacles in their life and who is ready to have a positive, beautiful life in the future. This person has had some issues when it comes to their childhood. So they were raised to be very chivalrous. They were raised to have really good manners. They were raised to open doors. They were raised like in a traditional household, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They also just like to be generally polite. And unfortunately, because of the way that their childhood structure was, they did not get support from either one or both of their parents. So they could have had an absent parent, or a parent who had trouble like with alcoholism or with something else that kept them away. So they had at least one parent who was inconsistent in their care or in their showing and displaying of affections. And so that created an avoidant attachment style in this person. So that is something very challenging to deal with when you're connecting with someone romantically. It is something that can be fixed. It is something that can be worked on. And it seems to me like this person has overcome a much harder obstacle already in their life experience. So this is someone who could get into a more stable attachment style. But currently, they are showing up as somebody who has issues with connecting or getting close to people romantically. So they're probably going to show up as somebody who's a little bit scared of commitment at first, who's a little bit scared of admitting that they care or showing too much care right in the beginning of a connection. This person may have treated you like you weren't their number one priority. I mean, not that you have to be, but if you've already tried connecting with them at least once, you may have felt like they didn't give you enough attention or enough time, or that they didn't prioritize the connection in general in a healthy way. So you may feel like getting to know you was the last priority, seeing you was the last priority on their schedule, that kind of thing. And it feels like you've either reconnected already with this person, or they want to try again because they've stayed in touch with you somehow enough for them to start falling in love with you. So they've gotten to know you enough at this point or enough about you. Maybe they see you on social media. Maybe they still have you as a friend, like on Instagram or on Facebook or something like that, where they've been observing you and observing your life, even if it's from afar, and they're feeling like they've grown to really appreciate you and really get to know you for who you are. And so this is somebody who feels like they're falling in love with you, but they're not going to show you that, and they're definitely not going to admit it out loud. So this is somebody who's still going to come off as like very casual or as like very slow to progress the connection. This person also may have some abandonment issues. Yeah, it says I have attachment issues and abandonment issues. And like I said, they have an avoidant attachment style, which means anytime you get close, they feel like they need to pull away. Anytime you express emotion, like I really care about you, I want to be more serious with you, let's be exclusive, anything like this, they may put boundaries up or push you away or make excuses because they rather leave the connection before being left. And so they have an expectation that love ends, that love isn't constant, that love goes away. And so when they have that expectation for whatever the reasons in their past, this person could have also ran into like a difficult romantic relationship where they felt like they were, rejected or betrayed or left with very little lead time to process that. Like it could have been a very sudden breakup or a very unexpected breakup that they went through that caused them to develop abandonment issues, or it could be something from their childhood, like I said, a missing parent or a parent who was inconsistent in providing care or showing affection. And so now this has resulted in them being a little bit of an avoidant personality style or attachment style, which causes them to protect themselves, which can manifest in different ways. You can look up what avoidants are like, but technically a lot of them will put up barriers or boundaries, and those could look different, but a lot of the time they show up as them making excuses not to progress a connection to the next level of commitment. And a lot of the times it also shows up as somebody who tries to sabotage a connection before you can leave them, basically. So they have this inherent fear that they will be abandoned or rejected, and so they do it first just to protect themselves. But in so doing, they also push away their opportunities at love. So you are dealing here with a complex romantic partner who's going to need a lot of patience. Oh, yep, it says, I'm afraid of commitment. I know what I'm doing. I play dumb to keep you confused. And so, like I said, this is just confirmation of what's already been discussed, but they're going to keep making excuses if you let them. So with an avoidant person, you also have to learn how to demand what it is that you need for the connection to work. And then you have to let them give that to you and observe their behavior. And if they can't or they won't, then the best thing to do is to terminate the relationship, because, you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make them drink the water, right? You can be patient with them. You can give them the framework for how to love you, but you can't make them change their behavior. That has to come from them, right? They have to choose to want to meet your needs. And so this may be somebody who can come off as a little bit childish. Even though, they're older, they can have some childish tendencies or behaviors, and they can tend to spend time just like watching TV or doing things that are considered escapism. They try to, like, there's something that they do constantly. It could be video games. It could show up as different things for each of you, but this person definitely practices escapism and does something with their time that keeps their brain from actually really processing any valuable information. It's just like something that keeps them in some other zone that makes it so that they don't have to process their emotions or their inner thoughts for a very extended period of time. It could even be just that they sleep a lot. Each of you take that as it resonates for your person. But definitely they do some type of escapism, and it's really to avoid processing emotion, or they do it to avoid processing their own thoughts or feeling alone with their own thoughts. This person has struggled in the past. They had some kind of major challenge or roadblock, and for some of them, it could have been some kind of addiction to drinking, partying, drugs, etc. Or they could have just hung out with the wrong crowd and gotten themselves in trouble and have some kind of criminal background or history. So they definitely struggled with some kind of major challenge here. And their support system crumbled at one point, and so they had to rebuild almost from scratch. Definitely someone who's had to overcome a huge obstacle, like almost starting from ground zero at one point. And so now they feel like they have to do things by themselves, or they don't deserve to have a support system because they were the cause of that support system crumbling. So there's something to that to be aware of here with regards to this person. They are somebody who is interested in a romantic connection with you. And if they've tried to be with you before and gave you the excuse, I'm getting that for some of you, you tried to date this person in the past and they gave you the excuse of like, oh, well, I'm not ready for a relationship. I'm not ready to call it boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not ready to call it engaged, or whatever the next step was in this connection. They're hoping that maybe if they come back around, you could give them another opportunity. I'm on my way to you. So for some of you, if you haven't heard from this person, you will be hearing from them soon. Ooh, and I regret lying to you. Not sure what that is about, but it looks like they've withheld some information, or they've literally lied to you about something. I remember every detail of that day. Okay, so for some of you, this could just be a very specific moment where you asked them a question straightforward and they gave you a straight lie to your face or over the phone or whatnot, but they clearly lied about something and now they're feeling a little bit of guilt there. And this is not an extended reading, so I won't be going into the detail, but ooh, unless it comes out. Wow. So this person may have lied about being single or may have been entertaining some other side relationship or side person. Because, you know, just the way that these came out, I would get lying to you and then single and then they will never compare to you. So to me, this means that there was someone else at some point when you guys started talking or dating, and maybe even though you never were official, they misrepresented how single they were, okay? Or this could be someone who, you know, was still kind of pining over some kind of ex, because it says here they will never compare to you, okay? I regret what I did to you and we're meant to be together. I'll wait for you as long as it takes. So this is telling me that for some of you, you've already dealt with this person in the past and they did something to hurt you or to push you away or to sabotage the connection. And now they're wanting to come back in, they're wanting to apologize, they're wanting to fix it, and they may be a little childish about how they approach you. They may be a little bit immature about how they address what was done. They may not admit it. They may not give you a full apology. They may give you a half-ass apology, or they may just like try to joke or not even mention it and act like it never happened. But either way, I do see that this person wants to try again, that they do feel regret, they do feel bad for what happened, and they are clearly aware of it, even if they make you feel like it was not a big deal, or like even if they just gloss over it, like they don't want to talk about it. It's more so because they're uncomfortable with exploring those feelings or having that discussion in a mature manner. And instead they're trying to just get back into your life, but not have to deal with that conversation, which is difficult or challenging. But they are being patient here and they are wanting to come back together with you. So if they haven't reached out, I do expect that they will be. Ooh, yeah, that's confirmation there for some of you who are wondering. So there's been some third-party interference here. Whether you considered this to be an official connection or not, they definitely misrepresented something with regards to how single they were or who they were talking to or dating at the same time as they were dating you. And yeah, they may have hidden you from someone else as well because they were scared to really explore those feelings that they were developing for you. But I did get earlier that this person is falling in love with you. Even if it's at a distance, they've been falling in love with you. And now they can't help to admit those feelings. Like, it's making them feel a little bit scared and uneasy because they can't even hide it from themselves anymore. They can't even pretend it's not real. Okay, this person may be going through heartbreak at this time. So if they had some other person They may have recently broken up with them, or for some of you, if they were pining over an ex, you know, they're still really scared to date again or to give their heart again because of how bad the breakup was that they went through. I feel like this person got done really dirty in the past. Like somehow they were very in love, and then suddenly and unexpectedly that connection ended. They could have been betrayed. They could have been cheated on. This could be because of, you know, the third party energy we're seeing. Could just be that that's coming from their past experiences of like what they had to go through, and that could be why they're not wanting to give you that commitment or really open up to you emotionally, or they're trying to hide their own emotions from themselves at this point, because it's pretty clear to me that they're, you know, falling in love with you in a way that's hard for them to avoid. Okay, last card here is I fantasize about you. So this person is very, very into you. They probably stalk your social media page. They probably look through your old pictures constantly just to see you when you're not around. And so they're sitting here like really wanting you and realizing, because of how much they want you, that this is not going to go away easily, that it's not just, you know, a temporary passing fleeting feeling. All right, you're dealing with someone here who is quite a homebody. They like to be at home, or they feel safe at home. And they also feel safe when they're with you. You make them feel at home. They feel at home when they're with you. They feel like you're not only a potential romantic partner, but also a really good friend. And so the foundation for this connection is in place if you were to explore it. I think this person sees you as somebody who potentially has the key to opening up their heart again, even though they've been through so much. When it comes to their emotional connections, I think they've been betrayed. I think they've been deeply hurt and wounded. And since then, they haven't wanted to reopen their heart. But you seem to have that key here to reopening that window for them to explore love again. Okay, overall, this is a very happy-go-lucky person. You see here, they get serendipity and happy. This could be an Aquarius, a Gemini, or a Libra. It doesn't have to be. This could also be a Virgo. And I do see here that this could also be a Pisces. This person is just completely focused on trying to build or rebuild a new and positive life. They've overcome a major obstacle. They want to build from scratch a brand new happy life free of stress. And that's what they're looking forward to. And they would like for you to come along that path with them. I think they see you as a very happy, positive person and someone who they could see themselves building a future with. And if they're honest with themselves and they open their heart, I think this person has a blocked heart chakra, but you're beginning to allow them to explore things in there that they haven't been able to access in quite a few years, okay? This is somebody who's realizing how much they truly care about you, and if they're honest with themselves, which they are doing lately, they really can't let this pass by. Like, they're not going to let this opportunity just slip by and never say anything again. But they might come at it from a perspective that's a little childish. Instead of telling you how they feel, how much they want to explore something with you, they're not going to have the confidence. We get confidence in reverse. They're not really going to have the confidence to tell you how they're truly feeling. They may explore it by just playfully coming around and offering you an invitation to hang out, an invitation to go watch a movie, something very simple. But really, they're really exploring how would it feel to be in a committed connection. And this is the first time that they're exploring that in a very long time because of their avoidant attachment style. I think you've made them feel safe enough to try to consider that possibility, but they still lack the confidence to even bring that up in conversation, okay? Let's see what's coming up next. So for this connection in particular, you will be hearing from this person in the near future, and there's something building. There's like a lot of kinetic energy between you and this person. I think the universe is orchestrating here some kind of meeting or some kind of conversation or event that will bring you both together. This is like an exciting momentum building moment between you and this person. So there's definitely some kind of climax moment coming, and I think they're gonna, if they haven't already, they're definitely going to reach out and they're definitely going to want to reconnect with you. And the advice for this connection, ooh, we get 3 cards here. reconciliation, chemistry, and attraction. So you've been attracting this connection into your life at this time. It may be the right timing at this time to re-explore this connection with this person. There's certainly a lot of chemistry here, physical chemistry between you and them. And this is someone, for some of you, this is someone you've already dated in the past. So with reconciliation, you may be getting back with someone who you tried dating in the past who wasn't ready for commitment. Okay, that's what I get here for most of you. Thank you so much for your time and energy. That is all that I have for you, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.